I knew the new Green Lantern Corps series was going to be peak when they had Green Lantern John Stewart working with Sinestro. We don't ever see this type of interaction between the two. The Green Lantern Corps is back and they're highlighting different Green Lanterns and all their adventures, but at the core, they're trying to basically fix the universe that now has the emotional spectrum fractured. We got Jessica Cruz as a new Green Lantern leader, the Guardians are back, and each Guardian represents a different emotion on the emotional spectrum, and since the emotional spectrum is fractured, anyone in the galaxy can amass a huge amount of emotional energy and makes them a ticking time bomb, kind of like a mutant manifesting their powers for the first time. Which is why Jessica Cruz is sending out John Stewart to Tamaran, where there's been a huge outburst of fear energy. And who better to accompany John Stewart on this mission where they're facing fear energy than the first man to weaponize fear itself, Sinestro. This is amazing because we don't really see John Stewart and Sinestro interacting that much. Sinestro has this long, complicated history with Hal Jordan. Between Sinestro and Hal Jordan, it's personal. It ain't like that with John Stewart. We see them arrive on Tamaran and there's a fear construct just, going crazy in the city, and Blackfire is the queen. John Stewart's letting her know they're there to help, but Blackfire is kind of iffy on them because that whole falling out with the United Planets. The Green Lanterns joined them and it turned out to be a ruse and they were trying to gain control. It was a whole thing. It should also be noted that Blackfire is hitting on John Stewart something crazy. Meanwhile, Sinestro's like, man, we're out here trying to fucking stop this and she's in the way. Yo, let me remove her. The planet would probably be better off without her anyway. And I love this interaction between Sinestro and John Stewart because John Stewart isn't Hal Jordan. He's way more calm and thought out than Hal Jordan. So what he tells Sinestro is, yo, Jessica wanted you here to help. So why don't you do that? So instead of antagonizing the queen, why don't you show us why you were once called the greatest Green Lantern in the Corps? And he just gives John Stewart this look and I love it because it makes so much sense. This is such great writing because it's John Stewart telling Sinestro, yeah, remember who you used to be and how people praised you for before you became what you were, before you betrayed all of us? You were considered the GOAT. Why don't you go prove it? And also is giving Sinestro a chance to really show his colors. Oh, you're really with us? All right, then you go handle this then. And we see the cause of it is the scared girl calling out to her god, Jal. Sinestro asks the girl's name and it's Vexaru, and he tells her you have the ability to channel great fear. But I wonder, do you have the willpower to control it? The girl believes this big construct is her goddess that's come to judge her, and Sinestro's like, no, this is you. You're doing this. It's a construct from your mind. The girl is adamant. She's like, no, you don't understand. There's a prophecy that the god will come back and get retribution on those that didn't believe her. Sinestro's confused because he's like, okay, well, you are a believer, so what are you afraid of? And Vexaru tells him, I'm afraid I'm not worthy. And this scene gives us a beautiful insight into how Sinestro sees fear. He's like, fear isn't a weakness. It's a stone that hones the blade of your mind. And Vexaru is like, I thought Green Lanterns never felt fear. Sinestro tells her being a Green Lantern isn't about never feeling fear. It's about overcoming that fear. It's so ironic that we see Sinestro being the one saying this when he was the biggest enemy of the Green Lanterns for so many years, and he killed so many Green Lanterns. Now, he says he had his reasons and he was always pushing the Green Lanterns to become something more. But here it's nice to see that glimpse of the Green Lantern that he used to be. And it's a good callback to that Jeff Johns run all those years ago where we saw he did rejoin the Green Lantern Corps in the future. And I wonder, is this the beginning of that? We then see Sinestro asking Vexaru, so, can you overcome it? And right before that construct can take him out, it's gone. And here is where we get more defining character in Sinestro as John Stewart and Blackfire come in. They ask, yo, Sinestro, you okay? He's like, yeah. And I think I found someone with exceptional willpower. Blackfire sees that Vexaru was the one that did all this. He's like, it was you? That zealot, you did all this shit? Yo, I should banish you. And we see Sinestro we see him get angry and defend Vexaru. And I was going to say not out of character, but it is a bit out of character for someone he just met. He defends Vexaru, telling Blackfire, yo, this lady right here, she's a true believer. Her fear brought her into the emotional spectrum, but her will is what made that construct go away. And we see Sinestro saying if there was ever a candidate to be a Green Lantern, it's her. We see John Stewart hand her a Green Lantern ring and induct her into the Green Lantern Corps. And she's so thankful, and she thanks Sinestro. Sinestro, who's never really doesn't get thanked that much, tells her, you can thank me when you survive your training, if you last that long. John Stewart tells Blackfire, yo, you should feel proud. You got a Green Lantern from Tamaran now serving. Blackfire said, yeah, that's all good, but fuck all that. Yo, I want you, and I need you, and I'm gonna have you. And she's sure they're gonna meet again. And John Stewart tells Sinestro, yo, you did good work today. And Sinestro's like, of course I did. I am the greatest Green Lantern that ever lived, after all. All right, man, all right. They get back to Oa, they then realize, okay, people are manifesting the emotions and becoming ticking time bombs because there's no power battery for each emotion anymore. They thought they need to contain them, But what if instead they use willpower to help these folks control their emotions? That's what John Stewart is telling everybody, and Sinestro backs him up by saying, yo, if you can manifest something like that, like what we just saw Vexaru do with that amount of fear, and then control it with will, that's gotta make you worthy of being a Green Lantern candidate. This is how we rebuild the Green Lantern Corps. John agrees with Sinestro because they can't count on the Guardians or Mogo to send rings out anymore, to pick people based on their capacity of willpower. Now it's up to other Green Lanterns to pick people based on their strength, their ability to do good, and their integrity. They gotta do that shit in person again, just like the big recruitment drives we saw them do back in the day. Yeah, that's fucking brilliant. I don't know if we've ever seen that many recruitment drives. I remember the big one for when the Green Lantern Corps was going to fight Apocalypse. Then we had some from the Green Lantern Corps Tales of the Green Lantern Corps series, where like we saw one, the famous one with Katma Tui bringing in Ratlop Fan. We saw other ones like that. But it's been a really long time since we've seen like an in-person recruitment drive from Green Lanterns, where they're not just rings sent out by Mogo. So I'm really looking forward to this, man. Green Lantern Corps has always been one of my favorite books because it's not just the focus on Hal Jordan, but all these different Green Lanterns we got, especially with that HBO show coming up. Like this book is perfectly themed to get people into Green Lantern, so you should really check this shit out.